the first speaker, Radu from Sunlight. He has a very interesting presentation about how to put together GDPR and PSD2, right? Okay.
Good morning. So I would like to first start. Can you hear me if I speak like that?
No.
Okay. I just tried. So I will start with my second slide presentation. Break. When. Not joke. We were hacked. Physically. I will put a video and tell me how many you recognize in your company something related to this. Read! When a suspected terrorist is able to board a plane with explosives on Christmas Day, it is obvious that our security system has failed in a massive way. There apparently were a number of red flags that our intelligence community knew of, yet failed to act upon. I have personally directed Janet Napolitano to organize a committee to seek to recruit and create a group of experts to review and analyze our current security measures and pass along a number of new ideas to be presented in front of a number of focus groups and or scientists so as to derive the essence of our human and or systemic inadequacies. Bullshit. How common is that thing where a lot of flags are raised and the first board reaction is let's have a committee. Let's start to analyze things. Let's start to, I don't know, have another meeting to schedule the next meeting. And in the end, by the time that things should be solved, things are not even started, right? So I have the feeling that still after, 20 years or even more of cybersecurity, we're somehow in the same place, especially in large organizations. And even on large IT organization, we're still figuring this is the way. Why? From my point of view, is because, well, in most cases, management is still not IT. Management have their own KPIs, they have their own rotation. In general, if you look in an average company, the high top management rotation is around 2 to 4 years maximum. So it's sometimes hard to figure out a strategy that will go from one management to another. I was speaking 2 weeks ago at the third company with someone from Slovakia, which were saying that in their case, the director of the CERT in Slovakia is elected by the parliament for 7 years, which is more than a presidential or governmental term. This way, he can set up a strategy which will go further down the way. So, my presentation today will be about vulnerability management, but from a risk-based approach. So, not starting and ending with the technical aspects of the vulnerability management, which are usually the way that technical guys are promoting it, but I'm going to speak a little bit about how to present those vulnerabilities, those technical vulnerabilities, to a management that could understand and that could decide upon the prioritization of the risk on their own language. Because usually what management sees is the higher part of the iceberg. They see some risk reports, some pen tests, because we have authorities which needs to regulate us, which needs to see some green checklist there and some checkboxes, and everything is okay. I was speaking earlier with someone which will follow after me about next. Yeah, this is what they like, this is what they want to have. Also the pen test, because somehow they are mandatory by some regulation, but they are not seeing the whole lot of other information which is below a decision in terms of which vulnerability, which risk in fact, because we're not treating the vulnerability here, we're speaking about the risk behind that. So, I'm gonna skip this one. So, I hope you can read this. Here, it's a light overview of, I would say, the 4 steps of security ages. It started a while ago where security was not even considered. It was okay checking some awareness in the company, having some basic scans maybe done, just for the sake of a checklist, and that was really the most advanced thing that could happen. Then probably all of you heard about the maturity-based approach. That sounded very management-like. So how mature is the business in terms of cybersecurity? Where are we standing, and how can we improve? And this is the moment where different incident response teams or SOC operation centers or stuff like that starting to be built in the company. But I'm asking you, were they really effective, or they were just, again, a checklist, a nice to have thing, something which will help you attract more budget on the IT or security part, and that's where they ended. And I can see here, for example, in a lot of cases, the fact that they were really considered an outsider. They were really not seen as something helpful for the business, but they were usually the one which were saying, yeah, we should stop this site should not be accessed, and affecting this way the business. And from the management perspective, it was a negative impact on the business. It was a center of cost, which was now having no revenue on it. Now a little bit, we're seeing a twist to the risk-based approach, where the cybersecurity risk is not seen anymore from the IT perspective, and that's all, but it's starting to be seen as a business operational risk. That's the moment where, when the company understands that the cybersecurity risk is the business operational risk, that's the moment where they start addressing it this way. There are some benefits and there are some problems with this. The problems comes again because you need to explain to the management what is the cybersecurity risk, how it can affect the business. You're starting to put some nagging questions like, what's the value of that asset? And if you're looking from strictly financial perspective, you'll go to the CFO and ask this, you will get what reply? Any guess? Or experience? Or guess? Well, in a lot of cases, you're going to see that the value of a server is the cost of that server. How much it costs. That is price. Maybe also some installation cost, and for them, that's the price of that asset. They are not even thinking of the data which is stored on that. Or, I don't know, other legal implications. If you're going to legal department and you ask what's the value, first question it will be, I'm seeing here in the room, yeah, do we have any data protected data? Yeah, okay, then that's the value of it. Could be an option also. Then the next step would be, I don't know, maybe in, I would say 5 years, but in security things are moving faster, so maybe earlier, we're going to see a proactive cybersecurity approach in companies. So we're now somewhere in between the fundamental of how security should be treated in a company and the more advanced way. These are some statistics from last year. 16,500 vulnerabilities were discovered only last year. If you compare to 2017, so 2 years ago, it's an increase of 12%. We're here in a point where we need to mix some very rapidly increasing data, like vulnerabilities, for example. We're not speaking even about other aspects, but at least these problems, compared to the complete opposite. And by complete opposite, I mean the management in companies, which they are very slow. As I was speaking earlier, I was showing the movie earlier. Let's have a committee and all that. So when you're trying to mix something which basically you could automate, I don't know, treating of vulnerabilities, analysis, and all that, you're facing a very, very slow-moving management. So there are different strategies that you can have to optimize the thing and to start a little bit mixing the term by automation, because otherwise we can probably, I would say next year, I mean this year probably we'll have like 18,000, so another increase of vulnerability. It's harder and harder for security guys to keep track of all that. So I would start first with understanding your asset criticality. And here, it's a long discussion that you need to have with the management. What's the asset? What's the value of each asset in the company? And then how we can address it. Here, it's very tight. If the company has a business continuity plan and or a disaster recovery plan, there are a lot of information that we can grab from there. Okay, of course, there needs to be some middle management understanding between the operational part and the real risk management part, which created the plan initially, but slowly you can reverse engineer, let's say, the whole risk of management, what it means in terms of URS, databases, servers, and all that. Then we need to assign the risk rating. And this is something very important. There are different strategies and methodologies that you can have here, but what's really important here is that once you choose one methodology, to stick to this. You cannot change it every 1 year or 2 years, because it will be very hard to keep track, to keep to see the progress in time if you're not sticking to the same methodology. So here there are different aspects, but my suggestion would be the technical guys to, let's say, bend over a little bit and try to get the most technical methodology that the management agrees, because it's easier for them to accept and understand than the management to switch. Then another very important aspect, if you want to automate the whole process, is the risk definitions, or risk catalog, or all the risk. And here I'm not speaking only about technical the risk, I'm speaking about any other business operational risk which can be in the company, and what are the relation with the technical aspect, and to normalize security. And by normalize security, I mean having a single common understanding of vulnerability in all the tools that you have, all the vulnerability scanners, all the penetration testing teams, internal and external, to use the same description, the same language. It will be easier and will gain for you a lot of time. Now the most complicated task, I would say, delegate threat and vulnerability management. But the main keyword in here is not threat, it's not vulnerability management, it's delegate. And what does mean? Delegate is not just sending an email to someone and that's it. Delegate means assigning responsibility and that guy to take responsibility. So you need to make sure that both steps are done, because only sending an email or notifying him is sometimes not enough. The moment that he acknowledges the risk, then in that moment we can speak about taking responsibility of that vulnerability. The rest, vulnerability management, I'm not going to bore you. Probably all of you guys already went through that, and that's the classical process. Last but not least important, get the most of your data. What I mean by that? Question? By the way, if there are any questions, just raise the hand and yeah, there is probably some microphone around. So get most of your data. When you're speaking about risk, you're not speaking anymore just about the vulnerability that one scanner or another is detecting it. You need to enrich the vulnerability with extra data which will help you prioritize. And by that, it can be anything from the business importance, which we established earlier, can be the network where that asset is located, can be threat intel, very important threat intel, can be exploitability, can be any other sort of information you can put aside that vulnerability in order to prioritize the risk. And afterwards, you can get the budget or resources or whatever you need in order to fix the vulnerability, which will somehow eliminate the risk, or if not possible to eliminate, at least to diminish a little bit, to put it under the threshold of the company risk appetite that they have, or risk accepted. So, after we decided the methodology of establishing the risk rating, first thing it would be to assign ownership of the asset. And here you need to go as granular as possible, and by that I'm speaking, if possible, to assign a person and not a team for each asset, even that the database or it. I know it's hard, I know there are several people taking care of several applications, but as long as the fixing of vulnerability is the responsibility of the team, guess what? It's nobody's responsibility. The moment that you assign a person that will, let's say, sign for this responsibility, that's the moment that you really have an acknowledgement of that vulnerability and the risk is really taken care of. Of course, network zone, business importance, or the risk value of that asset. Then we go in the technical part where we have all the vulnerability scanning, either automatic through scanners or some manual pen testing that you're doing. In terms of scoring the vulnerability, it's another very important aspect. I'm here a big fan of threat. I don't know how many of you are aware of this methodology. It comes from Rapid7, another security provider. It means, first D, it's damage. So how big is the damage that exploiting that vulnerability will produce? Then the R is from reproducibility. It means how easy it is to reproduce that. Is there a time frame or something that will restrict this? The E is how exploitability, how easy it is to exploit that vulnerability. The A, meaning you need to be just a script kiddie or more advanced programmer or real dark black hat hacker. Then we have the A, which comes from affected users. What is the number or the type of affected users? And the last D is the discoverability, how easy it was to detect the vulnerability. You see here, I'm speaking about a vulnerability scoring, but none of the terms used for the categorization is a technical one. And guess why? Because based on that, I can speak to the management. So I really encourage you to use this methodology when scoring your technical vulnerabilities, because it will be easier to explain to a manager why that vulnerability is low, medium, high, or whatever. I was earlier speaking about vulnerability enrichment, like exploitability or threat intel or whatever other information that you can take. And in the end, we have the vulnerability categorization, exclusion management, and whatever other tasks are needed in order to do the proper management of the vulnerabilities. The flow in terms of getting more technical a little bit, so the information comes from different vulnerability scanners or APIs or whatever is the input that you're having, or even manual. Then, in order to automate the whole process, as we're foreseeing that large amount of data coming more and more at us, we're using what we did earlier. We assigned the asset an ownership. So we can automatically assign the vulnerability to those asset owners. At the same time, it's really important to have escalation, a follow-up and an escalation process. Because a vulnerability which is just sent once, unless that guy is really proactive and really taking care of his business and his job in his business, he's probably gonna get downgraded somewhere in technical. So the process of reminding, of following up on that vulnerability, if you can automate them because it will save a lot of time for the guys to do more intelligent things, like fixing the vulnerability. Then, of course, we need to have the feedback circle closed through the security team, which will confirm or reopen the vulnerability. This being all said, I'm going to skip over the integration that we can provide currently. I'm going to go to 4 bullets, which are my 2 cents on all the things. A vulnerability is only as dangerous as the threat exploiting it. Never forget that. Do not put too much budget on, I don't know, coffee shop. Look at who are the threats to your business, what are the type of actors that we're speaking about. Then, rating schema. This is what I was speaking earlier about the threat. Try to pick a rating schema that fits your profile and see how you can prioritize your vulnerabilities based on that. Implement a risk-based approach that correlates, it's not based only on the vulnerability, so technical idea, but the whole process of risk management in a company. And yeah, last one, try to fix first the very easy ones, the ones which are targeted by common malware, because you might not be a target of a threat actor, but in the end, if you are just one of the victims, nobody will say, okay, it's not on my profile, I'm not going to enter here. They will enter, they will see what they can use it, and then they will see afterwards. I have 4 more minutes, I think, for questions, or if not, I'm here till lunch around.
You've mentioned somewhere around the beginning that there was a 12% increase in vulnerabilities compared to 2017. Now, you would think that companies are constantly investing in security and constantly upgrading and learning from their mistakes. So why do you think we still see an increase in vulnerabilities?
I don't think that the investment of companies and the increase of the vulnerabilities are related. Companies are not investing more in cybersecurity unless they got really hacked. I know, like look at different cases. I was reading a report last week about Equifax, where some of their main data were protected with user admin and password admin. So the vulnerability that was exploited, in fact, was the entry point, but in the end they managed to have their playground there. So I don't think they are related. Companies usually invest after they were really hacked. The number of vulnerabilities, the increase of the vulnerabilities is, I think it's getting more money in there. That's what's increasing the vulnerabilities. More money from that, of course more people are jumping in it, of course more people are coming to conferences, so